channel Simplifying Business Studies. Myself, Kashish Talwani, your business studies teacher. I welcome you all after a very long time. So, children, this is going to be the fourth session of chapter 6 of class 12 staffing. And recently, there is a change about how videos will come. Videos will not come thrice a week as we were throwing till our last video. So now onwards, you will have one revision video or one recapitulation video for all what we will cover in 1 week time. So I request you all to continue watching these videos, but it is preferable if you attend classes regularly. So let me go ahead with what we will do in today's session. So this is the content of the chapter which you have already been familiar with. And in this video, we will cover external sources, its methods, merits and demerits. Along with that, we will understand the second aspect of staffing, that is process of selection, and we will also understand meaning of training. External sources of recruitment are these sources are uh, basically very important sources of recruitment along with internal sources which we studied in previous video. It included transfer and promotion, which is cheaper, which is affordable, which is easier. But actually, in real circumstances, external sources of recruitment plays a very important role. They provide the whole pool of people who can actually become the real workforce in any organization. Under this category, the first one is direct recruitment or recruitment at factory gate. So these are generally a kind of notice which is displayed on a notice board, maybe to find unskilled or semi-skilled people. It can be on any factory gate or it can be on any showroom which is looking for salesperson. So it generally requires people who are unskilled or semi-skilled. So such workers are generally known as casual or badly workers, which can be changed on everyday basis also. So they are paid remuneration on daily wage basis. What is the advantage of this kind of recruitment? That it is very inexpensive and it does not require any kind of expenditure on advertisement. Suitability, where is it suitable? It is suitable for filling casual vacancies where there is just a rush of work or where there is some kind of permanent worker which is absent. So it's an instant kind of recruitment where we can instantly get people to work for the same day. Another is casual collars. So generally there are many big companies who maintain a record of unsolidated or uncalled applicants in their offices. So such job seekers can be useful source of manpower. Their applications are taken and kept pending in such a file when like there is a requirement for people again in an organization, that file can be taken out and again the people who were not called or the applications who were not given much importance, that can be again taken out and scrutinized to find out another set of people. So this is casual callers. What is the advantage? That again, no advertisements, no expenditure on advertisements, and along with that, what is the disadvantage? It may bring flood of response, but many time, after a certain period of time, those certain applicants, they might not be interested in same job. So there can be lesser response in this kind of source of recruitment. Next is advertisements, newspaper, journals, or through web media. It can be through any source. So most of the senior positions in big companies, in major industries, are filled by this method. So advertisements in newspaper or trade journal basically reaches masses. So it brings on the whole pool of people, whole pool of applicants who are interested in a certain job. What are the advantages of this kind of source of recruitment, that um, more information about the organization and the job can be given in an advertisement. Like an advertisement can contain lot of detail about like where will the interview be held, when will that be held, what will be the process of interview, and what does the company looks like. So many details reaches the candidates. And also advertisement gives management a wider range of candidates. So yes, a whole pool of candidates comes across. So this is the benefit for both the parties. What is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is, again, it is expensive. It is a time taking process. Next is employment exchange. So what is employment exchange? Employment exchange is generally run by government, and it is basically a help desk where people who need some kind of staff, some kind of personnel, they can go ahead and ask for the data, and that data is generally maintained by this department, and they give them the required data. So basically it bridges the gap between job seekers and employers. So it is generally suitable for unskilled and skilled operative jobs. What is the advantage of this kind of definitely it bridges a gap, and it works largely on a problem like unemployment in our country. And what is the disadvantage? Generally these records are often not up to date, and many candidates referred by them may not be found suitable. So data basically it's not up to date. Another is placement agencies or management consultants. So placement agencies provide nationwide services of matching demand and supply of workforce. These agencies basically invite a resume or biodatas of the job seekers, and they charge generally a very reasonable amount for helping them find a job. And similarly, they bridge this kind of gap between the companies who are looking for people, and they don't want to go for that whole process of giving advertisements and conducting interviews and the whole lot of process. So what they do is they pay these management consultants or placement agencies certain amount, and for that amount they find the best match for whatever they need, and they bridge the gap between these two parties. So they work on commission basis from both the parties. So definitely it has certain advantages, it has certain benefits. Yes, it helps people get their right jobs and help the employers saving themselves from lot of chaos and lot of work related to recruitment. Next is campus recruitment. So colleges and institutes of management and technology, they have nowadays become very popular source of recruitment for technical, professional, and managerial jobs. Many big companies, they maintain a close link with them to recruit qualified people right from the time they even have not completed their degrees. So companies conduct interviews in educational institutes, and they shortlist candidates. So if they find these people suitable, they offer them jobs right before they complete their degrees. So this is a very general thing nowadays in institutes like ITM, IIT, and IIM. Definitely this is beneficial for students and as well as for the companies who find fresh talent very effective. Recommendation by employees. So this is such a general kind of way to recruit people. Many organizations encourage their employees to recommend the names of their friends, relatives, and other known people if certain similar situation, if certain similar position is vacant. And if someone is apt for that position, they can bring them for an interview. So this kind of method is good because their background is sufficiently known, and under this method a type of preliminary screening also takes place, and the employee generally recommends those people who match the job profile. So lot of work reduces if recommended person are brought into an organization. Labor contractor. So labor contractor basically act as a middleman between the laborers and the enterprise. So they work, they keep in touch with the laborers and small towns and bring them to the places of work when it is required. um, Basically, these laborers who work under the labor contractor, they have to be given a notice, short notice, that tomorrow they should be available at certain place for work. So this is how it works. So uh, next one is advertisement on television or telecasting. This is just the same way how advertisements were previously discussed. Previously, it was newspaper and journals, that means print media, and this is television, that means audiovisual media. Next is web publishing, advertisements using or on digital platforms like internet. We see a lot of advertisements of different employers on naukri.com or timesjob.com or clickjob.com or jobsahead.com. So these are all web publishing portals. There employers post their job, and even those who are looking for a job, they can post their requirements. Now, merits of external sources which we just studied. Okay, so first one here is qualified personnel. So we can see that using these sources, external sources, we can have qualified personnel. We can have absolutely trained people who are efficient enough to take care of their jobs. So if we fill this kind of these kind of people in the jobs in an organization, definitely they will bring more efficiency to the organization. So this is one benefit, that we get qualified personnel. There is a wider choice, because definitely if we are using sources like a newspaper, or we are using sources like web publishing, we are reaching masses. We are telling masses that we require people for these positions in our organization. So we have a wider choice always. And when we go for wider choice, we have fresh talent also. Different sources like campus recruitment, they definitely brings wider choice, as well as they bring fresh talent. Competitive spirit. So if there is something which we call fresh recruitment, or we bring in new people in an organization, so that brings a new energy in an organization also. So it brings competitive spirit in the organization, so that definitely helps everyone who is present in the organization and who have entered the organization work more efficiently. Competitive spirit is something which always takes an organization upward and towards more efficiency. Now, what are the limitations of external sources of recruitment? Dissatisfaction among the existing employee. So once you are bringing people from outside, this will definitely bring a lot of dissatisfaction among the existing employee. They will feel insecure, and their chances of promotion may get reduced over the period of time. It's a costly process. Yes, it takes a lot of money, lot of efforts to be taken if you are going for sources like advertisement on television or advertisement on newspaper, or even if you're going for placement agencies or management consultants. It is a very costly process which has to be borne by the organization. So we can say it's a costly process. Not only costly, but it is a lengthy process also, because it takes a lot of time for the whole process to take, its final shape. uh, Applicants, they apply, then scrutinization has been done, then the selection process comes across, then the person is placed, and if required, the person is given training also. So it's a very long process to make a person, stable in an organization. Yes, these are the demerits or limitations of external sources of recruitment. Now, this is the second aspect of uh, process of staffing. We have already studied recruitment. Now, this is the second thing what we are going to study is selection. So, selection is something which we have already understood in brief, but now we will understand it in detail. Selection is the process of choosing the best candidate from the pool of the candidates that appear for the recruitment program. So now when we have invited application through many sources, now we have a whole pool of people who are willing to work in our organization. The second and foremost thing what an organization is supposed to do is selection. So now we have to scrutinize all these applications, we have to test all those applicants, and then we have to select the best candidate for the particular job. So yes, how do we do that? We do that with the help of tests and interviews. What are those tests? We will definitely understand it. It is called a negative process because various applicants got rejected during the selection process. So we heard a similar concept about recruitment. We call recruitment a positive process because we invite as many applications as we can using the recruitment process. Anyone who is just even thinking that he can do that kind of work, he can apply, right? But anyone who thinks that he can do a job may not get selected. So selection is a process where many applicants got rejected at different levels, at different, stages of selection. So yes, this brings lot of negativity. So we can call that selection is a negative process. So this is a brief picture which can tell you what selection looks like. See, there are a lot of cross on the screen. So it looks like a very negative process. Definitely it's good for the one who is selected, but not for each and everyone. Now this is the process of selection. You can see a lot of steps under it. First one being preliminary screening, then selection test, then employment interview, reference check, selection decision, medical examination, job offer, and then finally contract of employment. So we will understand all of them one by one. First one is preliminary screening. As the name is so suggestive, this requires every application to be checked properly. That means if we find any person who is absolutely not suitable for the job, he has just the diverse qualification, we can definitely reject that application. But yes, all these applications are carefully scrutinized, carefully seen, and properly checked uh, by the screening committee, and the list of candidates who we find suitable and unsuitable are just separated, and those who are absolutely unsuitable, they are rejected altogether. Now second one is selection test. We have to have some kind of test so that we can judge whether who is best for a certain position or not. So there can be different types of tests which can be held as per the industry concern. The first one is psychological test. Basically, as the name is so suggestive, this is a test which help us test the human behavior, help us predict the human behavior in certain situation. It includes many different types of tests. It includes aptitude test, it includes personality test, interest test. Now what is aptitude test? We can read it. Aptitude test is a measure of individual's potential for learning a new skill. So aptitude test tells us that how much time a person may take to learn a new skill. So if one is faster, he will definitely, attempt this kind of test in the minimum possible time. Next is personality test. So what kind of personality a person is holding? This is also very important. Uh, uh, some people have a very hyper personality and they might not be suitable for a salesperson's job. And some who has amazingly brilliant intellect level, so those kind of people can be utilized for different technical areas. So yes, your personality, how you react in a certain situation, what kind of maturity you hold, all these things can be tested using personality test. Interest test, definitely this is also very important. Everything what you learn across your life brings that skill, which is always transferable to your work. So interest test help us measure the pattern of your interest, and that somehow affects your work also. Now, next is employment test. This test is there to judge applicant suitability for the particular job. Intelligence test, this is an indicator of person's ability and like how he is intelligent, how much intelligence he has, and that definitely helps him to take decisions and judgments wisely while he's on work. Trait test measures the expertise of the person in a particular area which he's going to work in. Third, step in the selection process is employment interview. The main purpose of interview is to find like how much the person is suitable, and also to seek more information about the person which is not able to be which is not uh, like obtained using all the other measures. And definitely it gives the employer a clear picture, an accurate picture about what candidate has mentioned in his application, and what he has tried to prove in all the test is actually true or not. So it gives and also it also gives the person also who is going to work in an organization about like how organization will deal with him, what are the terms and conditions he has to deal with. So overall, this gives each other, uh, the employer and the prospective employee, the clear picture about what their working relationship will be like. And fourth step is reference check. Generally, in the application form, the candidate is asked to give names and addresses of at least two responsible person who know him. Yeah, that means these are two people who he has worked with in his previous years. So they may be the previous employer or the principal of the school or the college the person has attended. These are contacted in writing or over telephone or by a personal visit to collect information about the background, character, personal reputation, financial condition, police records of the candidate. So this is generally done to check whether the person has mentioned the details are uh, true or not. Selection decision, then finally after all these things there comes the selection decision. Here the person who has cleared the employment test and who has cleared all the interviews and where reference checks are positive, the selection decision are taken for those candidates on the basis of merit. Next comes medical examination or physical examination. So all those people who are selected for the job, they have to bring in a certificate stating that they are fit enough, they are fit enough to work in that organization physically and mentally. So this is a mandate requirement which is generally taken by all the organization, all different types of organization. So generally this is done to ensure safety of all who are working with that person, which are who all like in an organization, and also physical fitness of the employee definitely helps reducing absenteeism in an organization. So higher standards of health are maintained, and that can be safeguarded also. Job offer. After having medical examination cleared or producing a medical certificate, job offer is provided to the candidate. So he is issued an appointment letter by the organization. It has all the terms and conditions about his working, his pay scale, his leaves, everything which is required to be known to an employee is included in that appointment letter. Finally comes contract of employment. After getting the job letter, the candidate has to give some certain kind of acceptance. And after acceptance, both employer and employee, they both sign a contract in which terms and conditions and all these things are mentioned. And definitely there is a provision where there is a cause clause mentioned in that contract, that what will be the circumstances in which there will be when will this contract be ended, and in what circumstances. So these are all the steps in the process of selection. At last, this is the third aspect of uh, staffing process, which is called training. We can call it training and development also. So training, what is training? We can read it on a screen. Training is an act of increasing knowledge and technical skills of an employees for doing a particular job efficiently. So this is some way through which we can, equip a person with certain kind of knowledge or certain kind of skill which is required to do a certain piece of job. For example, when I started making these videos, I even didn't know how to make a YouTube account. So I have been provided training, so that made me equipped, that make me efficient enough to make all these videos, how they are visible right now to all of you. So yes, training helps a person to achieve that knowledge, that skill, which is very required to do a particular job efficiently. Both existing employee and new employees get acquainted with their jobs, and this increases job related skills. So it is generally not for the new employees who are entering an organization. It is for existing employees as well, because if we know that business environment is absolutely dynamic, it is changing every single day, so we need to uh, adapt our organization and whole of its staff so that they can adapt to the changing environment. So that constantly requires training. It is an essential part of the job which is helpful in improving the knowledge of an individual. The nature of the job has changed with the changes in the business environment. This is what I just said. So this helps the person to adapt to the changing environment, and this has become a real necessity in any industry we can talk about. Training, it requires coaching, it can be teaching, it can be enhancing person with knowledge or skills, or bringing in more experience, learning better things. So that whole thing, they help you to develop. What are the benefits of training? So, training provides an employee with the skills to grow in his career. Absolutely, the person who has more training, more experience, they will definitely grow in future, and more knowledge will help you, progress more in life. The one who has got good training in any of the areas, the person is able to bring in more efficiency and bring in better performance in any area which he's working in. You can see like two singers in a show called that any musical show which comes across on a television screen. One who is an amateur singer who has learned on his own, and one who has taken training for 3 years. Definitely the person with training will produce better results. So training helps a person increase their efficiency and perform well in any area in their lives. And once you are trained in any work, you will bring more confident in handling any piece of work. So training makes a person more confident. Once you are handling certain machines, certain equipment, certain tools, anything across you, if you are already trained in that, in using that equipment or that tool, definitely you will be handling it in a better way. You will be working better with that tool, and definitely there will be lesser accidents in that case. So training improves self-confidence of an employee also, and it helps them face new challenges. And one more point, training helps a person earn more also. So once you are trained, once you are more experienced, once you are more efficient, you will be earning more also. What are the benefits of training to an organization? Training provides a systematic way of teaching. When someone comes across any organization, uh, if I am doing some work, I will be doing it my own way. And if someone will be doing that same piece of work, they will be making in their own way. They will be doing things in their own way. So when training is given by an organization to an employee, employer tells an employee in a certain way that this is how we want certain piece of work. So it makes work more better. Um, it makes people more efficient and saves organizations time and money. Training helps an individual and make them more efficient. This is what we have already discussed. It increases productivity and finally it will bring growth to the organization. Training helps in preparing employee in facing new challenges. Training helps anyone, like how we are teaching, how we are studying nowadays. It's definitely we have already adapted to the new change environment. So those who are not able to counter these kind of issues with the changing environment, they lag behind. Good training helps in boosting employees' morale. It gives a proper confidence and motivation, which reduces employee turnover and absenteeism from work. An organization where people are not able to work properly, if they are not given training properly, they will not be delivering work properly. Then what they will do ultimately, they will hide themselves from work. They will run away from work. So that will increase their absenteeism and gradually it will increase employee turnover. So once you're not satisfied, once you're not able to do any piece of work efficiently, you will think about taking more leaves. And gradually one day you will think about, leaving that organization. This is a very general circumstance. So children, these were the benefits. I hope you all understood what I tried to explain through this video. If you have any questions related to the topics covered so far in this video, you can write them in the comment box and do share my video. Do like it if you actually like it. Hope you have a good day watching my video. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead.